Everyone! Velocity here, back in action for more Princess Investigating Attraction. That's right, we just got Princess Ursula, and that means that we are heading towards her little thing that she saw at Mount Hobbs, which she did tell us last time that she found something happening over here. So perhaps what that is, I do not know. Also, she died. That was surprisingly fast. Maybe I should not have switched her out. Oops. Well, I hope I have a Phoenix down. I hope I do. Please. Okay. She's just like on the floor. Like, dang. First battle she gets into. Cool, we have a Phoenix down. I did not want to use a high potion. Why did you do this? Okay, party formation. We're gonna put her in the back because she kind of just does need to have levels properly. I'm a little sad by that, but hey, whatever. We're continuing our downtime over at Mount Hobbs to see what the heck's gonna go on. And honestly, fam, I don't know. Third base. I think over here is like another end. Yeah, this is West Vista. No! They're all here. Everybody is here, even Waluigi. Go. Yeah, just everybody kick. Everybody kicks and nobody gets hurt. Like, I'd absolutely just in love with her design. It works out so well. There's something about Chinese dresses that just they hit every day of the week. It's so good. It's so good. So yeah, I'm not gonna like shut up about this at all. I'm gonna be like, this is pretty cool. This is one of the coolest things, actually. Beg pardon? And yeah, I think we're doing pretty good here, honestly. I think a full moon is bad for us. I'm not 100% on that, but it might be bad for us. Either way, kind of have to like save just in case something happens. I don't know what. I will say though, this has been a particularly odd game in terms of its story, in the sense that like, it just kind of feels to me like they didn't exactly know what they wanted to do, and then they just kind of like made it up and like kind of stuck it together as like something. That's what it kind of feels like to me. And I don't necessarily want to say that's true, but I think that's true, actually. There's just the way that the story is connected and everything that just don't feel particularly natural in a way that feels like I'm actually getting like proper like story progression. Like, I still don't know who the mysterious girl is. I have no idea who the heck she is. I don't know her plan. I don't know what they're doing. It's mostly just been catching up on the characters, which I thought Interlude would do, but I guess not. I'm not angry about it, just I thought that's what Interlude was for us to catch up on the characters. Before this happened, and I thought like things were set in motion when it was happening. It just kind of like, we have more so like established life, and then we go into like misadventures in our established life, and then something suddenly happens and shit gets real. That's generally how it's kind of been for the most part. No, this is not bad. It's not a bad thing. It's supposed to be an episodic situation, but to me, it's definitely like confusing in a way that like I wish like they just kind of planned it out a little bit better. Because certain ones don't feel so good. Like Edward's story does not feel particularly great. Feels like a lot of like going around. Poram's doesn't feel particularly good either. Sidora's feels fine. He feels like a proper like story and everything, and that was a good start. I was like, what if it's not so bad and that it kept going? So I'm hoping this one proves to be like, hey, we're gonna get better or something. I don't know. I don't know how these were released in order or anything like that. I do know they were technically supposed to be separate games. Hence why it's so wonky with its delivery of like, choose a tale, save amongst the tale and everything like that. It's weird. I'm not mad at it, it's just a weird bit that Final Fantasy the After Years has. And I'll be real, like, a lot of this was just me being super curious. It's like me looking at Dragon Ball GT in this magazine that I got like a long time ago, before like most Westerners knew what Dragon Ball GT was. I was like, oh man, GT looks so insanely cool. I really hope like they bring it to the States and everything. And then when it came to the States, I just did not care. For one, I've moved past my Dragon Ball phase. Not in the sense that like I didn't like Dragon Ball anymore, just in the sense that like I had other anime that I liked watching and it just was more interesting to me at that current point in time. I think I was actually really into Yu Yu Hakusho. Are all of you here on a training mission perhaps? Word has it that a falling star landed not far beyond here. If you're here to see it, you should stay on your guard. Speaking of which, would you care to buy any supplies? Oh, please and thank you. Bless me, bagpipes. No, I need the Phoenix Downs, and I need them badly. Thank you. Nope. It's fine. Sure. These actually are pretty helpful. That blind status with the way that we're cooking? Yeah, we probably actually do need those. Alright, cool. We'll just get one. No, no, no. I don't think I saw, like, the beast thing. The beastery. It's fine. It's whatever. But yeah, it's one of the situations where, like, I'm now playing through Final Fantasy the After Years, and I'm like, yeah, it's not as good as everyone thinks. And I understand that there is a general curiosity in a lot of people out there that are just like, yeah, I really want to see how it's like, though. Like, I know you said it was bad, but I want to see. And honestly, I'm the same way. I can't really, like, be throwing stones in glass houses, you know? I get it. There's nothing particularly too bad about the game either, though. Like, it definitely was a little bit blown out of proportion. It's just... the problem with Final Fantasy IV the After Years is that you're just consistently rebuilding parties. And that doesn't feel so good. There's a fun sense of, like, in an RPG, the thing that you do in particular is that you continually build and build and build to the point where, like, it feels good to, like, actually feel like you progress throughout the story. So when you have a consistent amount of people just kind of show up and don't do that effectively, they don't build up in a way that you like, it gets really annoying. And it's one of those situations where, like, if you binge it, it becomes worse. You feel me? And I think that's where, like, a lot of people's hatred for this game kind of came from. I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing, I don't think it's necessarily a good thing either, but, like, there's kind of not really a way that you could do it if you're trying to tell it from multiple angles and trying to be an episodic type of situation here. But at the same time, I'm kind of like, just maybe don't ever do this for RPG. It just doesn't work the same way, you know? Like, I definitely feel like if they switched genres, or if they did what Dragon Quest did in particular, and Dragon Quest did a really good job with it in 4, and that was the fact that it kept building on things to the point where, like, each chapter felt a little bit different, but it was its own separate, like, proper story. And right now, I kind of don't feel that way, because there's a lot of, like, NPCs roaming around, a lot of things where I just feel like things are empty and whatnot, and I just kind of wish it wasn't the case, you know? What is the meaning of this? It's as if the land itself is rotted. Only there were all we had to worry about. I feel an intense power nearby. This is not just any normal shooting star. No. Brace yourself for anything. Mount Hobbs could be a mere playground compared to this place. Yes, Father. Like, she's surprisingly obedient for being, like, a little, like, kind of Ranma-esque skrunkly girl, you know? Like, Ranma was the same way, where they're just kind of like, I'm not gonna, like, really talk to you, in the sense that, like, I agree with what you're saying, and I'm gonna do what I want. But, like, he's a little shit that we love, and he's adored. And that's how I feel about Ursula. This Ursula, just, like, right here, just kind of like, yeah, I'll do what I want, whatever. But, like, she's also rather obedient, comparatively. Which, like, I'll be real, I'm kind of really hyped for the new Ranma remake, because, one, they do have the ability to properly address proper transgender theming to it, and I really hope they do. And two, we might actually get a proper, and I do mean proper, ending to Ranma 1/2. There was not a proper ending to Ranma 1/2 in both the anime and manga. They just kind of sort of end. It's really weird. At least the manga ends in a way that, like, feels like an ending. I think they end up getting married or some such. And it's just kind of like a wacky, silly situation where, like, I don't think they get to say I do, but they get dressed for a wedding and all that such and such. I haven't actually read it. I more so read an essay about it, and I have to say, like, there's a lot of things that I really like about Ranma 1/2 that just was told to me. And, like, a lot of it just kind of comes down to the fact that, like, I also really like the fact and idea of someone coming to terms with who they are as a person and learning to be okay with themselves as that is. And I did not know, because, like, when I first started watching Ranma 1/2, I just thought it was pure gags and whatnot. But with a lot of her work, it seems she generally just kind of, like, does random moments where, like, okay, the plot's gonna start happening again. And that's pretty nice, actually. I do like that. My main problem with her writing is just, there's too much what feels like filler. How do I get down? Do I push boulder? Do I push boulder? I guess I'll just keep kicking. That's fine. Whatever. But like I said before, it's one of those situations where, like, I did not know Ranma 1/2, Ranma would effectively continue to be more and more girl-figured, and in particular with the interest of the whole situation, Ranma starts, like, catching proper feelings for men, and I find it really interesting in that regard, with the whole entire, like, kind of, like, trans vibes with the whole situation. I know there's a lot of people that are like, you know, taking estrogen doesn't like change your sexuality or this and that. To be real, I think it does. I don't think it is like in a mean sense or anything, or in a sense that like, how do I say this? I think it allows you to be more free in terms of your expression of sexuality. I think that's the best way I could really put it. So things that like didn't feel like they could be, you know, like they could be an opportunity for you, suddenly they start feeling like one because you've changed and whatnot. And I definitely feel like it is a mental lock barrier that you have, and you start thinking about the whole situation and going like, what is it do I actually want, and various things like that. And effectively it's a way to like make yourself just learn better and faster than what you probably usually would. And with that in mind, I generally really like it. I like that whole entire idea and thought process to it. It's just sort of like, yeah, you know, you learn to be better about things and be yourself. But like without like the estrogen like helping you along the way, I don't think that is the case. I think these barriers would be locked because you wouldn't be able to express yourself in ways that like would properly go into that sexuality. And for me, a lot of the time, it's also just the fact that like sexuality is a continuum. And I think as we grow up and we learn more about ourselves, we continue to change our opinions and ideas of how we approach that sexuality. And at times, I do think it's not the best, but at other times, it's really neat to see just kind of like the idea that like, hey, you know, there is a chance that you can be changing in a way that you like, or a way that you would want to, you know? I think that's cool. And I generally do feel that like a lot of people, I wouldn't necessarily say are pan, because like I don't think that's really a case. I do think general preferences are a thing, and I don't think it's necessarily wrong to have that, you know? And it's really confusing to me because I've had some people in particular get really mad at me about it, and just kind of like a guy that like doesn't want to like be with someone that has like a vagina or a penis. That's not a bad thing, you know? That shouldn't be looked at as like changing sexualities or doing various things like that. That should just be looked at as a preference. The problem comes effectively when you start going, I cannot date this person because of that specifically. And it works in the same manner that race does with sexuality, and various other things work with that. Like, it's not a bad thing, but if you make it the thing that like you kind of obsess over, it starts to become bad. Like, sure, you could like black people more, you could like Middle Eastern people more, you could like Asian people more, because like they sort of match like aesthetic that you really like as a person. But if you only date someone for that, it's like, but you're not doing it right. You need to be better. You need to just like be able to like the person for who they are and who they want to be. Because otherwise you're not really dating someone, you're fetishizing them is what you're doing. And that's just weird, you know? Like, that's what makes it suck the most, the whole situation. But overall, it's just really neat. I think sexuality is really neat in the sense that I think it needs to be explored more often and taught to more people more often, and younger, honestly. And I really do like the way that one of my friends in particular, Cacta, has said it, where they're like, yeah, like you can basically have a discussion to kindergartners about effectively what is just saying you should be able to have consent. And I think that really works well in terms of like a lesson that kids can learn, you know? It is technically a sex ed lesson, and it's something that you need to know that like your body is yours and whatnot. And people knowing the proper definitions of genitalia and being able to say it without like tabooism effectively, I think is really important in terms of cases of like abuse, you know? And it's one of those situations where it's very hard to like kind of like hit that line of like, where do we teach this, where do we teach that, da 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 da. But I think teaching consent is kind of like a really good thing to do and hammer in as a child, because like this is not to really bag on men, but it's to bag on society itself. Society does not teach consent. It does not. And I really don't like it. For one, I want you all to understand that consent is not just a matter of like, hey, can I touch you? Can I do this or that? It's also like, hey, like, what hours do you work? When do you get off? Where's your house? What's your address? That's all really weird private stuff that you don't need to know about, and it's really weird if you talk to your cashier that way. Because I am in that scenario consistently, and it freaks me out each time, going like, why do you want that information? You do not need to know when I get off. And usually I just lie. I'll straight up just lie to these people because they're not going to check back on it. They're not going to care on the situation. They could save my life one day. I'll be real. I don't know what these people are thinking. But boy, howdy. Maybe don't ask like people random invasive questions about their privacy? Like y'all think that the Americans are weird for saying like, how was your day and everything? We get worse. We get much worse. It just lands that way. Okay, go down here and then down this way. Yeah. Yeah, but that's my whole little charant about that situation and whatnot. And I know we're talking about Rama, what happened, but it just kind of happened. Dude, like, Rama's just really cool in terms of his exploration and everything, and just kind of like, it is one of those things that I wouldn't say cracked my egg, but made me think about it, you know? And if you ever wanted to know what actually cracked my egg, it was Kashimashi Girl Meets Girl. Because I was so heavily fascinated by this anime. I was like, what? The guy turned into the girl? That's like the coolest fucking thing in the world. Why aren't we doing this? And then, like, I was telling an acquaintance of mine, like, yo, this is really, really cool. Like, you could be a girl. Like, doesn't that sound like the coolest thing ever? And they looked at me point blank, looked at me in a way that just, like, very clearly was showing, what are you talking about? This is weird that you said it that way. But in such, like, a non-way, where they're just like, I don't really care, you know? And I was just flabbergasted at the idea that someone else of my quote-unquote sex and gender would not have the same opinion of me. Of being like, yes, I want to, like, change sexes and be that gender and various things like that. And I had to start thinking, what does that mean? So I started looking up online a bunch of things about it and whatnot. It just kind of like kept going and going, that's the situation. And just, yeah. I mean, maybe Republicans are right. Maybe anime does corrupt you, make you trans. It did that to me. I was a normal Christian boy, and then they did it to me. Now look at me. This is stupid as shit. This is stupid as shit. I'm gonna tell y'all right now, I'm so much happier than I ever was before. I'm like, just straight up. I would never want to go back. I would wanted to do it sooner, honestly. If I get this shit done when I was a fucking teenager, oh my god. I loved it. It would be nice. I see my mom. I have good genes. I just, you know? God damn, she just didn't marry ogres or some shit. I shouldn't say marry, because my dad is actually really nice, and he actually did look very nice in terms of everything. It was my bio dad that I have no idea, one, who they are, and two, I gotta be real, I feel like I kind of got screwed on the genes on that end, so I'm kind of mad at them. That is the only thing that I'm mad at them with. I don't know where they at, I don't know where they are, I don't know what the whole shebang is. We missed the chest though there, why? Gotta go back up, sorry. But like, I'm gonna be real, they ruined good genes! I had it set, and they just hecked it up with theirs. I could have been a knockout. Like, I could have. Ugh. Makes me sad. Regardless. Just gotta say, it's pretty pog to just be who you want to be and who you are. I think it's really neat to just like, be able to express your gender more in a way that like makes you feel better. It's always weird to me that these people, I mean Republicans and various alt-right people, conservative people, just look at the idea of gender expression and they don't go like that's cool, because they're always just like, nah, it's bad, and then they start going off about sigma males and gammas and betas, and I'm just kind of like, you just made another gender. You did exactly what we do. You just did stupid shit. And I'll be real, I like the stupid ass alpha genders. I like the stupid gamma, beta, and all that such sigma. It's funny! It is super, super funny. And like, I cannot express enough just a lot of gay culture with it being counterculture, because it just is right now. And boy howdy was it not going to be for a bit. But that's another discussion that like is getting into more nuanced things. The point being, we kind of just take whatever stupid ass shit that like conservatives say, just kind of make it our own, because it's just funny, it's camp. Like that new show, the new norm, Star Norm. They just kind of co-opted the new norm into our own thing. There's a stupid ass like fighting game mod of Norm. It's the funniest thing to me. I was laughing so hard when I saw it. I was like, what is this? I don't understand. And just like, beep. Oh my god. I don't know what to tell y'all. It's just super funny to me. Super duper funny. Same thing that happened with Mr. Bertram. I know a lot of people say they hate that show, but gay people are turning it different. I love it for it. They're making Bertram Yowie, and I'm just kind of like, let's go, baby, let's go. It's funny. It's so funny, dude. I think that's the thing that like people need to like do. And what I consistently said, just be less serious about yourself. Just have fun. It really is about killing all any kind of cringe that you have, because like being able to like focus on how you want to be and who you want to like feel you are and everything, it's nice. It's a nice sentiment that just like feels really good, you know? I like the fact that like I could just kind of like go into other things and just be silly goofy. It's cool as hell. I think that's one of the coolest things that you could do, is just be like, you know what? I'm gonna be a little fucky lucky today. Cause yeah. Let's be fucky lucky. Also, I'm running out of potion. What is this? Here lies a brave group of monks from the glorious land of Phobos. Oh no. These must be the high monks who left to train on Mount Hubs. Rest in peace. Oh, they've done a nice little extra expression. Oh, fairies? The fairies that saved him. Dang, stay on your guard. You! They come for us. What? And they will come for the crystals next. Wait! Of what do you speak? What is happening to this world of ours? We must return to Phobos at once. Get for its safety. Yes, Father. We just go? I'm guessing the other way there is just kind of like, oh yeah, easy. Easy turnaround. At least I hope that's the case. I do have to say too, I'm a little sad that the majority of this, I think, you know what really makes this game not work so well for me, and I feel like is a good case for others. There's no boss battle. Like, why don't you give me a boss battle properly? Like a final boss, so it feels like something instead of just like a continuation to a thing of like various things that are happening. Like, it just, I feel constantly blue-balled through the situation. It's rude is what it is, that's all I'm saying. Ah, jeez Louise. It'd make me not so happy. Eek. I should probably just give him a potion. Okay. We're all good there, baby. What I want to know is who made the grave. There had to be someone that made the grave, so who was it? Did the mysterious girl do it? Was she in the meteor and we're just like, yeah, haha? This is funny? At least I don't have to do all that. You never know. With the way this game is set up, there might be something in between this whole situation. I should probably actually talk to that rabbit if he's still there. What are y'all doing? What are you doing? Now they look harder now. Why is that? Oh, no, never mind. Easy peasy. Like a bunch of lemons that you squeezy. 30% of the bestiary is complete! Hooray! Woo, 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 woo. Give me all your money. Golden Ray. See, why don't you have the bestiary thing? Rude. Hence, I do not like having less than 5/10. It doesn't feel right. We'll get more of these just in case. We do not want to be blind as a bat, so this would be good. Oh my goodness gracious. Now I'm thinking about the Ultros Boogie. Like, god dang, dude. Like, YouTube back in the day when, like, you couldn't really make money off of it. Which I'm not saying is a good or bad thing. It's just kind of the era. We got a lot of really good, like, video game songs out there. And Ultros Boogie is one of them, made by Hayden, who is responsible for, I want to say, 50% of the gay robot context that we get from Mega Man songs. Just like, Lost, what? We're trying to play Final Fantasy here. What is it? Look at that! It's a bird. An airship. They're here. They're here. Here to kill your people and your kingdom too. The Red Wings, heading for Phobos. We must hurry. Sure. Okay. Well, that's not great. That's not good to hear. Believe we go through this way? I mean, what's a little bit of urgency when it comes to just sleeping in tent for a night? I love doing stupid shit like this. Is the funniest thing to me. Like, we rested. Like, okay, what? Why did you rest? We had to leave. This is why I generally think RPGs may want to, like, indicate, like, a timer or something. Something that would make things a little more drastic or feel urgent, you know? But at the same time, I'm like, I probably would hate that, right? I already don't like it when Final Fantasy VI did it. Because they didn't mention anything about saving Shadow at the end, so I just left him there. Then his dog saw him, and then he was just like, oh, oh, oh. It's just like, no! Made me sad. Made me sad is what it is, you know? Also, it's kind of BS out there that they're just like, yeah, we can't make a Final Fantasy VI remake the same way that we made Final Fantasy VII remake. And it's like, no one wants Final Fantasy VII remake again. They didn't want it the first time. I cannot express enough. No one wanted Final Fantasy VII remake. And you may be like, Ross, we've always wanted a Final Fantasy VII remake. Yeah, that's the point. Final Fantasy VII remake is not a remake. It is a subtitle. It is a title towards something. It is not the same story, and you need to have prior context to know why it's different. And that to me is a sequel game. At no point in time can you like be like, this replaces the first Final Fantasy VII. Which is fine, it didn't need to. It's just weird that it happened, you know? And it's like, why? Whatever. I know a lot of people don't agree with me, but like, I'm just confused at them, and I'm just like, I'm not gonna listen to you, because you're not changing my mind on this. And they're not changing my mind. I'm not changing theirs. And that's how it be. I'm just trying to warn people because, like, Final Fantasy VII is there. It's completed. You can play it, you know? And then you can play Final Fantasy VII Remake, which I'm sure is a really great game. I've played some of it before. Pretty great. But with that said, we kind of have to, like, go defend our kingdom right now. So we'll probably have to cut this all short. And that means that I gotta go. So thank you all for watching. I hope you all had a good time. And I'll see you all later, okay? Till next time. Sayonara. Bye-bye.